For decades, Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old matriarch of a prominent family in Tucson, Arizona, was perceived as the devoted mother and grandmother, a woman whose life revolved around family and faith. Her sudden disappearance has captivated the public, raising questions about who she really was. Beneath the surface of her calm, steadfast exterior, Nancy led a life full of secrets. Recent revelations, prompted by a mysterious package delivered shortly after her vanishing, suggest that she had been maintaining a parallel existence for over 30 years. This investigation uncovers the extraordinary truth behind the woman everyone thought they knew. The matriarch of Tucson. Nancy Guthrie's life in Tucson was the picture of quiet resilience. After her husband Charles died of a heart attack in 1989, she became a widow at 47, raising 3 teenagers on her own. Friends recall her as uncomplaining, dependable, and deeply committed to family. Her modest ranch-style home in the Catalina foothills became a haven of stability amidst the desert's harsh beauty. She worked part-time as a bookkeeper, volunteered at her church, and instilled in her children values of faith, humor, and determination. To her family, Nancy was the rock, the woman who held everything together, no matter the circumstances. The first sign of secrets. The first sign that something was amiss didn't come from confrontation, but from a simple unmarked envelope. On February 6, 2026, 5 days after Nancy vanished, her daughter Savannah discovered a faded photograph inside. It showed a young Nancy standing arm in arm with a man unknown to the family, outside a Santa Fe cafe. On the back, a cryptic message read, "She deserved more than secrets. Ask about Elena." The image, dated 1992, 3 years after their father's death, immediately raised questions. The photograph hinted at a secret identity and a life unknown to the Guthrie children, one that had been carefully hidden for decades. A parallel world emerges. It soon became clear that Nancy Guthrie had been living a parallel existence since the early 1990s. What began as an innocent encounter grew into a complex web of secrecy. During a solo trip to Santa Fe in 1991 for a church retreat, Nancy met Victor Ramirez, a 45-year-old artist and gallery owner. Victor, originally from Mexico City, had fled political unrest and settled in New Mexico. His life of art, passion, and freedom was in stark contrast to Nancy's structured existence in Tucson. The two connected over shared grief, and a friendship blossomed into something deeper, setting the stage for a secret second life. Enter Elena, the hidden identity. Victor Ramirez gave Nancy the name Elena, a symbolic reference to a character in a Mexican novel they both loved. Under this alias, Nancy became a partner in his gallery and a participant in a world she had never explored in Tucson. She helped run the gallery, curated shows, and even displayed some of her own amateur paintings. Elena was daring, expressive, and unbound by the duties that defined her life as Nancy. The name and persona allowed her to explore passions and freedoms long suppressed. This hidden identity became essential, offering her a sense of fulfillment and escape, while maintaining the appearance of unwavering devotion to her family. The compartmentalized life, Nancy's secret life, required meticulous planning. Weekend trips to Santa Fe became a ritual, each visit carefully explained as attending retreats or visiting church friends. She balanced her Tucson responsibilities with her Santa Fe adventures, compartmentalizing each world. Letters exchanged with Victor were handwritten to avoid leaving digital traces, and she kept them locked away at home. Over time, her role as Elena expanded, while her duties in Tucson continued unchanged. Her children remained unaware, believing their mother devoted herself entirely to them and the home she had maintained since Charles's death, never suspecting the freedom and passion she pursued under another name. early sacrifices and rationalizations. Nancy's double life was never about abandoning her family. She rationalized secrecy as protection, preserving the memory of their father and their perception of stability. Savannah was beginning her journalism career, Annie was entering college, and Cam was finding his path. To reveal the truth would have shattered the illusion of normalcy that Nancy worked tirelessly to maintain. The secrecy was a heavy burden, but she believed it necessary. Weekend trips became her sanctuary, her oxygen, allowing her to live authentically without disrupting the family's world. It was a life of quiet rebellion, a personal refuge from the responsibilities and expectations that had defined her decades-long existence. Financial support and investment. By the mid-1990s, Nancy had begun to invest in Victor's gallery using her bookkeeping skills. Small amounts were funneled into a Santa Fe bank account under the Elena Ramirez name, supporting the gallery during lean periods. Although modest, these contributions ensured the survival of Victor's artistic enterprise. In return, Nancy gained access to a community of creatives, writers, and free spirits, a world vastly different from Tucson. Her involvement in the gallery was discreet but essential. Elena became a respected, if mysterious, figure within the Santa Fe art scene. Nancy's life was a delicate balance of responsibilities and passions, each feeding the other in secret. The evolution of Elena. As the 2000s approached, Nancy's freedom increased. Savannah's career took her to Washington, D.C., and her other children began starting families, leaving more time for extended stays in Santa Fe. These trips, framed as solo retreats for health and well-being, allowed Nancy to spend up to a week at a time with Victor. The gallery thrived, benefiting from her management skills, while locals came to know Elena as a sharp, observant, and creative presence. Over time, Elena's life became increasingly independent from Tucson. Nancy had effectively created a fully realized alternate life, one that existed in parallel with her family obligations and public image. Cracks begin to show. Despite decades of careful planning, cracks in Nancy's dual existence began to appear. Increased travel and longer absences drew attention, and subtle slips in stories raised suspicion. Handwritten letters were eventually discovered by chance, revealing decades of secret correspondence with Victor. The mystery photograph arriving in Tucson acted as a catalyst, forcing the family to confront a reality they had never imagined. While Nancy had maintained a remarkable ability to compartmentalize, the pressures of aging, increased travel, and public attention made her carefully constructed dual identity harder to sustain. Elena's world was on the verge of exposure. The legacy of secrets. Nancy's hidden life raises profound questions about identity, duty, and personal fulfillment. She was neither villain nor heroine, but a woman navigating the tensions between love for her family and desire for self-expression. Her disappearance has revealed the fragility of appearances and the complexity of human life. The photograph, the letters, and the carefully maintained accounts illuminate a story that had been hiding in plain sight. What remains unknown is the reason for her sudden vanishing. Was it an intentional escape, a result of external pressure, or something darker? Each clue adds layers to an already intricate mystery. Conclusion. A Life Reconsidered. Nancy Guthrie's story forces a reconsideration of what we know about the people closest to us. For over 3 decades, she balanced duty and desire, love and secrecy, crafting 2 distinct identities. Tucson saw the steadfast mother and widow. Santa Fe witnessed the passionate, free-spirited Elena. The discovery of her parallel life challenges assumptions about loyalty, identity, and the limits of secrecy. As investigators and family members piece together her past, one truth becomes clear. Nancy was more complex than anyone could have imagined. Her life, Her choices and her disappearance will leave a lasting impact, a reminder that even the most familiar faces may harbor hidden worlds.